attention for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Is that good enough? Yes. Let me start by saying I really appreciate Equity Foundation and all the other partners for inviting me this afternoon to speak to you. For the ones who we are not very familiar with each other, I am Sabina Chege. I'm a member of parliament from Murang'a County, and I also chair education at the National Assembly. So out of the many women that we have in parliament, I'm among the women who are chairs. We are 349 members. Among the chairs who chair several committees in parliament, there are 24. Within those ones, we have 3 ladies who are chairs, and in the departmental committee, I'm the only chair as a lady. So I'm also glad that I'm speaking to you as students because of my interest in education. And so today I would like to start by talking about myself. And then we can go to the other details. And for the person who came up with the theme for this year was not very fair to me. I don't know whether we have several students from Murang'a County. Do I have Murang'a County students here? Yes. Hey, okay. Can I see you again? Hi. Thank you very much. You guys, you know we have a problem with the ara and ero. You know what that is, eh? Yes. You know ara ero? Do you understand what that is? And so when they said the theme of this year is discovering the power within you from a class reader to a world leader. So when I mention class, you'll be knowing that I'm talking about the reader, even if I say otherwise. And when I talk about the world, you know I'm talking about the leader and not the other one. Is there a difference so far? Okay, then I'm doing well. So I want to thank you and just introduce myself to you. I will tell you, because women, we don't say our age, I'm below 40. And I'm a mother of 3. Yes, and so you all can be my daughters, because my daughter is actually in Form 4. So I'm addressing my sons and daughters. My background, I was born and brought up from Murang'a County in a place called Kinyona. And I went to high school in Mogoiri Girls High School, which is now a national school. You have anybody from Mogoiri? Yeah. Then I went to the University of Nairobi, where I did my first degree in education. So I'm a teacher by profession. Then I did my master's in communication. And then now I'm doing my second master's, an executive MBA, where I want to focus mainly on leadership and corporate management. So I'm a student as we speak. But that's not it. For me, to come out from that village called Kenyona to be where I am today has been a journey. And I believe it's a journey that we can all share this afternoon. And a journey that I want, when I take you through it, that we can relate. And a journey that I want to tell you that you have what it takes. The difference between me and you is that you have an opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity. And the difference between and you this afternoon is you have somebody to speak to you, somebody to inspire you, and maybe I didn't have. I am born in a family of 9, and I'm the 9th born. Yes. And so in my family, we only have myself and one brother who have gone up to the university level. We have 6 boys and 3 girls. And when I cleared Form 4, because I was the last born, my other brothers and sisters were hustling in Nairobi. From November, December, when it came to January, I was picking tea in my village. And I was just staying there. And one day I told my mom, this is not it. I need to go out of the village. And the first thing when they discussed with my dad, and my parents are farmers, they asked, what do you want to do? And I told them the first thing I wanted to do was driving. And the answer I got from my dad, he asked me, do you even know how to ride a bicycle, so that then you tell me you want to go and drive? So that was the first setback. And so come February, I requested one of my brothers to accompany him to Nairobi. And all I wanted was to look for an opportunity. And the first opportunity I got and my first job I got was to be a house girl. So I worked as a house girl, but I didn't have cash payment. The payment I had was for me to work for my brother, and I had food to eat and a place to sleep in Nairobi. And I was in Nairobi, so I was happy. And by the time our exams came out, I went to one of the doctors who was a friend of my sister, and I asked for a job as a messenger. And within that time, then I saw on TV there was a program that used to be a hit at that point. I don't know, it would be which is the hit program now, a local program. Which ones do you watch? Which one? I don't know, is Tahidi High still there? Yeah, so it was, by that time it was the hit. And our time, that program was called Tausi. I know you people are not born, so because I know you are not. And so that Tausi program I used to watch on TV. And one Saturday I decided, because I didn't know Nairobi well, I decided to take a walk and go to ask my cousin to take me to Nairobi so that I know where KICC is, where bus station is. And because it was my first time to be around Nairobi, then I was shown where KBC is. My interest with KBC was because I knew that's where those people were acting. And when I went to KBC, I went and asked them whether I could see them. At that point, I just needed to see the actors. You know those, you call them, they are the stars, the celebs that you see on TV. Mine, I just wanted to see them. And this was because when I went to Mogori the first year, when I joined the school, I was the first mono to join drama. And I used to act, and I used to be a good dancer. And so then I just needed to see how they act, and they act on TV. And so when I went to KBC, they asked me to come another day. It was on a Saturday, they asked me to go on a Monday. And when I went to KBC on a Monday, I was asked to come in. And the first thing that really amazed me is that the lady who came for me at the gate, if you go to KBC even today, they have those guards with guns, was a lady I used to see on TV, and she was called Ashina. And I was like, wow. So this is the end. Yani, a celeb can come for me. And then I went and joined them. I watched them rehearsing. And then they said they had a guest, and apparently that guest was me. And I was asked to explain myself. And this is my first point, is that you better take the opportunity when it comes. It is very important to take the opportunity when it comes, because at that point, I was just told, tell us about yourself. And of course, I didn't have much to say. I just from this village, I've just cleared Form 4, and I love acting, and I used to act. So they asked me to act out. And I acted part of one of the plays I had done when I was in high school. And I also sang a song. And that time, the only songs I knew are Kikuyu songs. So I sang a Kikuyu gospel song, which was okay. That's what I knew best. And so after that, then they said they had an opportunity. They wanted to have somebody to act for them. But they had almost selected another lady, and so we were asked to go another day. To cut the long story short, after we went and we had done something called screen test, which I didn't know what it was then, I was taken in to act as one lady who was called Rehema of Tausi on TV. As I said, you were not born then. That was big for me. And so I started my life in the media then, just after Form 4. That was around May there, June. And so it was a long process, which I later, from discovering how to act on TV, I went on radio and I started broadcasting Kikuyu. Anybody who knows Kameme FM today? You do? So when it was started then, we were the first pioneers who were broadcasters of Kameme FM. And I used to do a late night show, used to be called Derera, which means flow, which was also some eye-opener, because as they say sometimes Kikuyus are not romantic. I'm not very sure of that, but I proved it otherwise. And so I used to do a late night show, but that was not the biggest handle, because again, I joined the university the following year, and the time I was joining Kameme, I had joined university. And so I had to juggle between going to the university during the day, and I requested my boss I work at night. So for the 4 years, I worked 8 in the morning, I go to school, to the university, up to 5 in the evening. And then 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., I used to work on a late night show for 4 years. And I thank God that I passed very well. And by then, when I did my master's in communication, I became the marketing manager of Kameme. And then I joined WorldSpace Africa as a business development manager, which later I went back to KBC. That must have been 10 years after, when I had gone as an artist doing acting. And I found some ladies and gentlemen who were my bosses then, and I went back and I became their boss. Just because I chose the journey to go back to school, and I went and furthered my education, and I went back there as a boss. And come 2012, after 5 years being in KBC, the people of Murang'a asked me to be their women representative, which I gladly accepted, though it was not easy to accept. And it was not easy for a woman being in politics. And so I'll tell you, for the ladies, and even for the gentlemen who are here, politics is not a field for the faint-hearted. But I know all of you, you can make it. And so today, as we celebrate this annual Education Leadership Congress, I normally say 7 is a divine number because it marks wholeness. It says we are reaching into maturity of this incentive and project. And I'm glad that we all here gathered here in this, I will call it this great meeting where we have the best brains and transform minds. Or are you not? Are people whom the nation invests in and looks up at the hope and the future? And education being the tool of social transformation and bringing in equity in nationalhood. I am sure today, this afternoon, I'm in the right place and with the right people. And I'm hoping that our interaction, I will be able to inspire you. When I went to Parliament, I became the chair of education at the National Assembly, where we as a committee of education, we are committed to give quality education. And now we have ongoing reviews, which is meant to add value and produce a holistic, self-driven, reliant person at the end of the process. I'm sure you know there's some issues about curriculum review. You might not be the beneficiaries, but the students in the next 4 years, they'll be enjoying a new curriculum. But all the same, I know your brothers and sisters who are in secondary school now, the ones who are in private schools, and I know you are all in private schools, you're no longer paying the KCSE examination fee. Did you pay for it this year? No, it's not being paid. And that this is a courtesy of the government and our committee to make sure that we have access to education for all. A few things I've learned from my family life to the political life to my career life is, one, is that you must take care of your friends. And I want to tell you today, choose your friends wisely. And there's a famous saying that says, show me your friend and I will. Yes. So you're just at the Form 4, which is, I would tell you, when we get old, we say life begins at 40. But I want to tell you now, the education life begins after Form 4. So if anybody told you are now educated, not, you're not yet. After Form 4, that's where education starts. And I'm hoping that from the speakers and from people who have spoken to you from the time you joined Form 1, that today you have a clear vision of who you want to become. And so your friends matters a lot. And I'll tell you, if you want to test who your friends are at this stage, just count the people who tell you the truth. Those are the people who you can call your friends. But the ones who will not tell you the truth but go and speak behind your back, those are not your friends. Your friends are the ones who will walk along with you in your most difficult moment. But I'll tell you something also very important. As you meet friends, never forget your family. It doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter your background. But at the end of the day, when you'll have gone to school and you'll have traveled, you will say east or west. East or west, home is best. And so never forget your family. I would also like to thank your closest friends who have been the Equity Bank and the other partners from Mastercard Foundation who have stood by your side. Those are your next best friends apart from your family. And so my request today is as you go out of the world, and I know some of you will go to international universities, will you ever forget Equity Bank? Are you sure? Okay, that no was very faint. So discovering the power within you is important in conquering your world. For indeed, it's not just enough to be a class reader, because right now that's what you're doing. For who will lead the world if you stop at the class level? So what Equity Bank and other partners are doing is to prepare you for leadership position, from being a reader to leadership. You understand the two, eh? I hope I'm still doing well. So I know that at this level, you've had adequate preparation, and as you sit for your KCSE, then you will determine the level of where you want to head to. But as you walk along that journey, it is important to have something called self-awareness. If I ask you today, who are you? What will be your response? I don't know, but it's a question that you need to ask yourself, because it is important in discovering your power, knowing what you are made of. The realization of your identity, knowing your capacities and limits, always remembering that the sky is no longer the limit, but the limit is you. You can achieve whatever you set your mind, spirit, and heart to achieve. For if you know who you are, you will know who you are not. And so when it goes to its very sad state that we are hearing that in our universities there's a lot of drugs abuse happening. So if you know who you are, nobody will ever convince you to use drugs. And I pray as a mother, and I hope as a leader of this nation, that none of you will lose the opportunity in life because of being affected by drugs. And people that you meet along the way will give you different advices. But once you know your identity, then you can be able to know which path to follow. And in the absence of this, we become what people call us. I know some of us have nicknames. Some of us, when you're in school, and especially when you go join Form 1, people maybe they gave you names because of how you looked. I don't know how many of us have nicknames. But does that nickname define who you are or what you want to be? So I hope you not be what people call you, but you be who you want to be. And with that, then you can state and say, yes, I'll be called honorable. I'm a mheshimiwa because I've decided that's what I want people to call me. But not because people just saw you and judged who you are meant to be. And so believing in yourself, that you have what it takes, believing in God, that He is working with you in uncharted paths, believe that but the environment you are in is the best for this time and make maximum use of it. It is important to make maximum use of it without murmuring and complaining. Make the best out of the people in your life. God has given you an opportunity. We had many children in this country who did not have the privilege that you have today of getting the kind of scholarship you got from Equity and other partners. And I am aware that a lot of us, we are from very difficult backgrounds. And I shared with you my history. And so you can now tell that, of course, I didn't grow in a stone house. Our first house was mud house, and we grew up in that house. And the house that my parents are living today is a house that God enabled me to build for them. And every time when I was in school, I used to say, when I grow up, if God gives money, the first thing I'll do is to build a decent house for my parents. So as you set your priorities, it is good to remember where you have come from. And the current challenges or predicament never defines your destiny. Your destiny is calling you. And I'm hoping that you will answer. As a leader, we know the success lies in intersections where excellence meets honor, and greatness in an inner event with outer consequences. Once you awaken your inner leader, I know the worldly success is the guaranteed results. And so today I want to encourage you to stand firm in the pursuit of what you believe in and what you believe is important. Some people see things and say why. Others dream things that never were and say why not. So this afternoon I want to encourage you to pursue your dream. And if you have a paper and pen, I would like to give you a few seconds to write your dream. What is your dream? And I can see some are not writing. That means you have no dream. So if you have not thought of what your dream is, then start thinking about it. And you can just write something down. And out of my experience, I'll tell you, God will not let you down. What you confess, I'll say with your mind, with your heart, with your mouth, it comes to be. So you might think it's just an exercise in futility of just writing it down. But there's somebody who is God who is in heaven, who sees the desires of your heart, and who will make that dream come true. And now that you are the person who wrote the dream, do you think your dream is too small or is too big for you? Depending on what you have written. And you know me, I'm a teacher. I like people responding. From what you have written, is your dream too small or too big for you? What is it? Is it too small or too big for you? Depending on, I don't know what you wrote. I would have picked a few too, but I don't know whether there's a microphone just to tell us what their dreams are. But do you think your dream is too small or too big for you? Too big. I'd like to tell you nothing is too big and encourage you, pursue your dream. And I've told you, God who is in heaven sees what is in your heart. And one day, it might be 5 years, it might be 10, it might be 15. We all are blessed in a different way, but one day it will come to pass. And as I finish, I want to say, it is good to have the correct attitude. And you know, if you go to the definition of attitude, it says it's a way of thinking or feeling that affects somebody's behavior. So if you have the correct attitude, you will go very far. But when you have a bad attitude, it's like when a car has a flat tire, and you know when you don't change it, you would never go anywhere. You've never seen a car with a flat tire moving. So if you know somewhere that your attitude is the one that is letting you down, I request you, as the driver will change the car tire, change your attitude today. And the best preparation for tomorrow is doing your best today. And with that, then, I say, there's something that you need to know, that life, every stage in life is time-bound. Every stage in life you go, it's time-bound. You know, primary school is 8 years. You went there through that, and you passed and went to Form 4. When you were getting to Form 4 in the first year, you must have thought, 4 years. 4 years are gone now. So it's good to know that you better utilize the time that you have now, not tomorrow. Because if you waste your time today, that means then you'll not recover, because tomorrow is meant for other things. So whatever you do, I urge you to know that life is time-bound. It is also good in life to discover what talents you have. And once you discover them, show them off. I'm hoping that here you are given a chance to interact and to show your talents to your colleagues. If I did not discover that I had talent for acting, I would not have made the walk to go to KBC. Yes, I was a good actress, but I would have stayed at home and become the house girl and stay there until I go to the university. But I went, when I even told my parents, even I told my brothers and sisters that I'm going to be on TV, they told me, you are mad. They told me, there must be something you're smoking that is not right. How can you be on TV? Why? Because I was just a village girl. None of our family members or even relatives who had ever stepped in a national TV, even a radio station. So they could not even understand or comprehend how I would be on TV. So, and then you thought your dream, what you wrote down there was too big, and you already know people you have met, interacted with, who have already gotten to that level. So you're better than me, and I told you. And so it's good to pursue your talents, bring them out, nurture them, work on them. And you know, we are lucky in Kenya. We have Lupita Nyong'o to show. We have the rugby team. We had the Harambee Starlets, the girls who did very well in football. And so Kenya is no stranger in leading the world. And I want to encourage you this afternoon to join the list. You have what it takes. It is important.